Yeah, so liberals, like again, they're very sanctimonious, patronising, get an education. I mean, what do you mean getting an education? So because I don't want my country invaded by loads of third world idiots that behave like animals, you can't do any business with them. They're too stupid, or they break the rules. Try to rip you off, so you can't do business with them. They're just a waste of space. And what's wrong with me for saying that, telling it like it is? So yeah, really, the police are very dangerous, and it's the police really that stop more people coming out and protesting, because you don't have to be violent to be violated by the police. They pull you out of the crowd. They'll kettle you. They film you. You know, they're always carrying a home video around there, trying to get their 250 quid from Beadle. Yeah, poor old Beadle, R.I.P. Anyway, yeah. So you know, these are the shock troops of the multi-cult cult. They don't really have any political views. They just kind of blindly like whacking people with batons. That pretty much sums them up. I'm not saying that there are not good people within the ranks, but as time goes by and the way these people, the questions they ask, you know, and the rise of a lot of police who are black or Asian, you know, they really are getting into a point where they're more like, you know, Soviet capos than protectors of the people, and they're not very good at protecting people anyway, unless a policeman gets hurt. So you know, they really should try harder, but what can you do, eh? So yeah, the authorities within the liberal cult, they use their worldview to put brave dissidents such as Julian Assange and Tommy Robinson behind bars for like crimes like contempt of court, the way he was tried, the conviction without a jury, like everything about that court case has not really happened before. And I noticed someone else got like a slap on the wrist for contempt of court for the similar reasons. They're assuming the result of a trial before it happened, but they just got a slap on the wrist. The reason they got a slap on the wrist is because the police realised, or the media realised, that they better make it look like this law's been in place for a long time. You know, just like they have black actors and things that, you know, in historical dramas in 200 years, if that's your only source, then they'll say, oh yeah, blacks were around in the 40s. They'll just create their own history. His Tory. So this is the other thing with the liberal cult. If you're stupid or talentless, it doesn't really matter. You can get like different doctors from different backgrounds on Harley Street who are cutting people up, doing surgery, and basically their training was putting their conservatories up. I'm not even exaggerating. A lot of these people just use fake qualifications, or they go to college and plagiarize the way through college or uni. It's very easy to do that. When I was at uni, there were a lot of different minorities, and I'm not saying all of them were cheating, but I would say the majority were. So what I'm saying is that they see the benefit in a society that kind of favors them no matter what. So you know, they like it that way and they support it, because if things went right wing, you know, these people would be weeded out and charged with all the you know, the dangerous jobs that they do with no qualifications. I mean, look at the paedophile boy abuser Dominic Noonan in the north. He said in an interview on the show about him that he's above the law because he's a gangster that likes little boys. He relies on the law being weak. Ironically, he did get what he deserved. So another thing is that people would say a lot of my views are fascist. I think in many ways they are, not necessarily in the way that you authoritarian. I'm not saying it isn't. Fascism is an authoritarian belief. It's not necessarily the way I would adopt wholly, but I see a lot of benefits toward like decent, honest people in a fascist system. But if people if they don't like it, it's not like they're forced to stay there. You can leave. Most left-wing or communist socialist places rely on fleecing people for money, and if people get into trouble, they're not going to help them, are they? They'll just knock them off. And the NHS, which is very, very kind of left-centred, or at least that's the view they put out, they're overstretched because there's too many foreigners. London is, after Beijing, it's the most densely populated capital in the world now, and that's just from bringing in like millions of people from all over the world. Good people, doctors, scientists, but bad as well. Gangsters, all the rest, rapists, murderers, they've all come in. In the old days, we only had, the craze. Now we've got Iran's best lockpick. We've got the most feared rapist from the Congo. What a wonderful, diverse amount of fucking criminals from the third world we have. We got the best of everyone. If there was a criminal Olympics in London, with a team from London on a world stage, I think they'd beat everyone hands down.